So, I'll meet to order. If we could stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so welcome to the April 9th, 2026 Board of Police Commissioner meeting for the town of Madison. Call the meeting to order. Can I have a motion to accept the March 12th, 2026 meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion about the minutes? Any corrections?
I didn't see any.
Hi, sorry I'm a bit late here.
That's okay. We're at discussion of minutes.
Did you have any issues with the minutes?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so can I have a motion to accept the minutes as is, as written? Amy?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes accepted. Okay, great. Time for public comments. Sir,
Is that me?
that's you.
Sure.
All right.
You are only member of the public today.
Tell them who you are.
My name is William Campbell. Most of you people know me already because I've been here a couple times. I really am grateful for the help that I get through Chief Jack and the rest of the police department. For the last couple of years before I got an audible signal put on Bradley Road in Route 79 so I can actually cross the street, I was calling on multi-day basis during the week to have them send an officer down, stop what they're doing, and send them down so they can walk me across the street, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, as much as I'm grateful for that, I don't want to see police have better things to do than have to walk somebody across the street every time I want to get through my town. So I've been fighting this fight for a few years now, not getting the answers I want to hear, especially from DOT. Just I'm constantly told that all the things they can't do for me. They can't put a setup next to Dunkin' Donuts and Fishtail for not only me but all the kids that come out of Hammonasset, all the people that come out and cross Route 1 there to go to Dunkin' Donuts or to Fishtail or to the package store. A couple of years ago, in this time of year, I had my foot run over in the middle of Route 1 because I go by crossing. It wasn't the smartest decision to cross in that section because of all the traffic that comes in and out of the businesses on top of the regular travel traffic that you have going. So I didn't hear anything coming, so I ran across the first lane of traffic and happened to slam into a car that was an electric car that didn't make any noise. And as I ran into it and was like, holy crap, where'd this thing come from? She hit the gas and ran over my foot and into Dunkin' Donuts. So besides that, I've had numerous times right in town, especially when I'm crossing either from the post office across Route 1 to Sampson Rock to catch the bus back there, or just crossing from the library over to the post office. So, and I walk there every day. I go there to Life Bowls for my smoothie. And I mean, one of the times that me and the chief and the select woman were standing there because I had a little fit about that big giant box that's out in front of the movie theater directly in the center of the sidewalk. I've kind of gotten over that, even though I still have to deal with sandwich signs and tables and chairs that are pulled out in all different directions. So, actually that morning when we were standing on the corner in front of the library and I'm talking to the chief and the select woman, some guy bangs a U-turn in the middle of the intersection. I know that from what I've been told, the law is that when the crosswalk's engaged, they're not supposed to be moving from their spots. And I'm pretty sure that goes for all four sides of the intersection. I'm not positive about that. But at least the side that I'm walking on, when that is, it starts beeping, that's my cue to start walking. So, I can't even, I've lost count of how many times I get somebody banging a right turn while I'm in the middle of the lane. I mean, I had one of the, I don't know the officer's name, but he's one of the biggest ones on the force. I think he's a sergeant, real big guy, you know. And so he came down to get me across Route 79 and Route 1 with my service dog Cosmo, and I'm following him and I'm watching 1, 2, 3 cars bang right in front of us. And my feeling is if they're not going to stop for a police officer who's 6 foot something with a sidearm, I don't stand a chance. I mean, really, I don't know if they're not looking for me. I mean, I got the yellow vest. I've done everything I can do on my part to make myself safe to get across my town. So it's just, I want to really ask for some more enforcement on that area, on that intersection. I mean, if any time the officers are sitting in the downtown area, if they could sit near that intersection and just start, I mean, really, the only thing that's going to change it until the signs come are these people getting tickets, getting served tickets, you know, because nothing makes a stupid person smarter than when you hit them in the wallet. So it's just, I really need help. I'm asking for help as far as enforcement goes, because I can be waiting, you know, I've already waited 4 years. And thank God they did the signal up on Route 79 and Bradley Road, so I don't have to bother the officers to get me across the street. So basically, that's why I'm here today. I really need some enforcement on that, because I don't know what to do next. You know, I try not to get angry and scream at people and kick their cars and hit it with my cane, but I'm at a loss here, and people just don't, either they just don't care, or all of them are looking at something, not paying attention. I mean, how do you miss this? I can see that. My thought is, if you can't see me in this vest, you shouldn't be behind the wheel. You need to use my cane. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's what I'm here for today, to ask for help. A little more action with ticketing people, because I think if that starts, it'll hit the patch. Maybe a few people will read that say, hey, all of a sudden, you know, we're getting nailed with tickets because we're making right turns on red when we're not supposed to be, you know. So that's what I'm asking for.
Well, thank
know,
you,
and
Mr. Campbell.
I'm very grateful for all that you guys have done for me so far. It's, you know, it's just really rough, you know.
We understand and we're happy to help. And I'm not, I know this is a constant, sometimes I'm at a loss as to why I can't get closure from a state organization.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. You know, when you apply for a crosswalk in 2022 and they're still not even on their agenda.
Yeah.
I do know that Route 79 and Route 1, because of the construction they did with the sidewalks and then continuing, that they're going to mirror with the same setup that you have at Route 79 and Bradley Road.
Right.
That's going to mirror there. They did the safety study. It was right after last time we spoke to you, we walked from downtown all the way up the Hammonasset Connector. They took their copious notes, they did their study, they presented it back to DOT, we got a copy of the study, this board had looked at it, and went to the selectman's office. But that was it. doesn't seem to, I think good intentions are great, but we need closure on the
Yeah,
issues.
exactly.
We need closure on the issues. I'm not sure what it's gonna take. Maybe I should pen a letter up the chain of the state of Connecticut. I don't wanna upset DOT, because we have to work with them, especially when we have all the traffic we have in Manhattan and everything else
Well,
comes to this town, but I know that, we're trying the best we can with the tools they give us.
absolutely, absolutely,
And we're still, you're not a burden to us for us to help you,
right.
you know.
I
If we're
appreciate
tied up,
that.
we'll tell you to stand by until we get there, but we're
Right.
happy to do that.
I just think it's ridiculous though, you know,
Well, we
it's
can
not,
we can increase some of with the summer, we generally do increase the patrol, especially downtown.
right,
We have people that think that that's the most opportune place to make a U-turn, as you stated, and a few other things. I think people lose sight of, the generation of people who learn to drive, the generation now that aims, and they aim their car, and subsequently, you're not supposed to take a right turn on red when that
mhm,
cross pedestrian is illuminated, well, certainly when somebody's at a crosswalk, but some people, they don't even think of that.
no,
So, I like that phrase you used,
and
for memory for people, sometimes the ticket creates memory, good memory.
yeah, definitely, I remember
So-
when I used to drive, I hated tickets.
I could use that, right? I really should
You
use
know?
that. But with that we can do, but, I think, and I don't wanna upset anybody in the chain of government. I mean, I think I'll talk to Senator Cohen, but I think that needs to go to some level
Right.
of executive level of
Well,
government, where they could say, tell us what's going on in that region.
Right,
Why is this, and we have the requests, they're in black and white, we have the letters, we have copies.
Right.
Right now, we have files of
Right.
all the requests, I name the road, I'll tell you the agony we've had, and there's no closure on it.
mhm,
So, that's probably
Well-
the next, step, is that we try to reach out a little bit higher.
right, I mean, if you guys have any kind of phone numbers that you could get from me, I'll be on it. I mean, I think it's a little different, I can see if it's coming from the chief of police, but also if it's coming from a person who lives there, family pays taxes to the state, and I can be pretty persuasive. I'm good at talking on the phone, I have hour upon hour to make calls and bug them enough to where they'll just wanna get me out of their hair,
I'm not gonna make excuses for the state of Connecticut. I have worked for that organization. I know that they have retirements and they do consolidation or right sizing of part of the agency, that some things get lost during that shuffle.
Right,
But I think, and you're not the only one.
No, I know.
I have folks that call me regularly on,
yeah,
Jack, any
I watched this
insight
poor
on
little
those crosswalks?
Vista girl try to get
So-
across in that little wheelchair of hers, and it freaks me out every time I watch her.
So we'll continue to send the letters that we're doing. We'll also pick up Doug, I think as we get more, especially when the school ends,
Yeah.
put a heavier concentration downtown, which we normally do anyway. And let's just hope that they give us the attention that we're asking for, so we could rectify this and bring it to closure.
Right,
Could I suggest maybe we do a little social media campaign about not turning right on red? Are you saying specifically where CVS is, where people go from Route 1 to
it's
79?
anywhere in the crosswalks,
Anywhere there's a
Same at the
crosswalk.
library.
and it's all while it's engaged too.
So
You
maybe
know, it's not
remind
like
people, you
this
can't
thing's not
just take a
beeping.
right on red anytime you want. You have to, the crosswalk has to be not only clear, but if the light's
Right.
not on, is what you're saying. I think
Yeah.
can't hurt to refresh.
And it stinks because the first ones that they put in years ago had the beeper up on the traffic signal itself, and it was loud. You could hear
I
that
remember,
sitting in
yeah.
your car.
Yeah.
So it let people know. This one, I can barely hear it, and I have amazing hearing. But once I'm 3 feet away from that pole and you have cars going by it, they have the volume turned, and they must have did that pretty recently. And I'm wondering if they turned the one off on the corner of East Wharf, because all the $1 million houses are sitting right there, and somebody complained about the little tiny beep they heard.
When the state of Connecticut is in the process of one division of DOT is doing all the signage and the traffic devices. You'll notice there's brand new ones in some of the intersections. They're controlled by a camera. Camera doesn't record, it's like for movement, like you would in your house, or activating a
motion,
ring cam.
right.
So that's what triggers a device. So they've replaced most of those on Route 1 from Guilford, and probably, I think, to Old Saybrook. And they're coming down 79, and that's why I speak to what's happening on Route 1
It would-
and 79.
Could we check on the volume, like, is there any way to verify, like, or to request that the volume be turned up
At least
on
from a
the
certain time
Audible?
of day, I
It
mean,
was
maybe not
like,
overnight.
we had handled that back probably, Ed, you and I have to be the historians on this, I think it was like 10 years ago, because the seniors are complaining that there was no Audible, and they were stuck in the middle of the intersection going to the library, and
Right.
it turned green.
Well, that's how I started on all of this, was when I took myself off the road in 2007, and I was walking from Green Hill Road down Old Horse Pond, and I'd get to Route 1, and I would stand there and wait for another pedestrian to come up, because I couldn't see the light. And I would wait until somebody came up, hit the button, and then as they walked, I would walk next to them. Until I was standing there one night waiting for an old lady to go across, and we sat there, and I can hear the traffic starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And she looks at me and goes, "Hey, can you tell me when the light changes? I can't see." So we're both standing there, you know, and I said, "That's it. I need some audible signals because it's gotten to the point where I can't see the light across the street." So I started, you know, and then you helped with your words to the state, and we got those first ones put in. But yeah, it just seems like I'm always fighting just to walk across my own town without getting hit, and especially when my dog's with me, because he walks on the left side of me. If I had him the other day, he would have gotten hit. That truck would have ran right over him and my cane, you know, and didn't even slow down, just kept going. You know, an old couple that was sitting at the intersection waiting, you know, the guy was pale. He said that he saw me walking, saw the truck go by, and he's like, "I was expecting to see you splattered on the ground." You know?
Well, thank you for coming again, Mr.
Absolutely, and I
Um,
thank you guys for your help, and if you can come up with any kind of phone numbers for state people that maybe need a little nudge, and I'm going to start a petition in town and see how many signatures I can get, because I think anything will help the situation. We get enough people that live in the town, taxpayers, to say, you know,
Yeah.
enough is enough, we need this stuff done, so, you know,
Um,
not only me, but a lot of other people can walk safely.
Absolutely, it's
You
not
know.
just you. But the chief is working on it, so next month's meeting, you'll have some kind of update, even if it's not an update on no update, but.
Excellent, well, like I
Following up
said,
with
I
the state.
appreciate it big time.
I'll have
you
an
know.
update of what I've done,
Yeah,
I really do.
so, or what we've done.
Exactly,
So-
exactly.
Billy, thanks for coming in.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
thanks, everybody,
Have a good
and,
night.
like I said, I really appreciate you guys' help.
All right, we'll see you later.
Jack here's been
Sure.
a good helper.
All right, man.
Where's the door?
Right here's the.
I just need
Here,
to
follow
get
my
out
voice,
now.
here you go,
Good.
on my shoulder.
Okay, we'll wait for the chief to come back. The chief's report, exactly.
Chief's report, we're waiting for you.
Pardon?
It's the chief's report.
Sorry.
We have to wait for you.
Okay, a lot of frustration there, and I understand it, it's frustrating in this
Yes.
building too.
Yes.
Okay, finances.
Yes.
Again, I just wanted, before we start, a lot of the finances are with the unencumbered and what we have, when we're spending it overtime, we have the 4 positions, 3 that we're free to fill between now and July 1st, and 1 July 1st, make it 4. The captains have conducted numerous interviews, and they have 4 candidates that are now, we'd like for you folks to interview.
Yes.
Okay, so we can get them letters, intention to hire them, pending the required background review.
Okay.
So that's gonna come soon, we'll talk about that, so now I'll get to the budget. Again, we have, the unencumbered wage, it's probably just before the end of, May, first 2 weeks of June, we're probably gonna move it over to offset the overtime line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's generally in the practice of finance. So that's where you see that line of 263,000. Obviously the officers will stem backfill of approximately 6 positions over every 2 weeks. So that's where we are with the finances there. Other than that, we're where we generally are at this period of time. Anyone want to add to that? Holly? Anything to add? Okay. Questions?
No.
Not much change from last month.
Statistics, activity?
Okay. Activity statistics for the first quarter of 2026. Captain Perkins?
So, from January to March of 2026, we had 187 alarms, we had 38 suspicious activity complaints, 536 motor vehicle stops. Criminal investigations was listed at 64, general investigations at 329, animal control at 44, juvenile investigations 4, medical response 318, motor vehicle accidents were at 64, and community service calls 73, and miscellaneous was 630, with a total of 2,287. This is a 46 call difference, so basically they're very similar to the previous year.
Doug, that average is about 25 plus calls for service daily, and of course we know that things all go triple soon.
Actually 46 calls in more this quarter, that's it.
Right.
Okay. Any questions on activity?
No.
Okay, Jeremy, Captain York, the training report.
Yep, so for the month of March, the Madison Police Department participated in 174 hours of training. We did our monthly online training for suicide recognition, management, and intervention training. Seems like this past month there's been a lot of, crisis intervention, a lot of activities with people dealing with mental crisis. So, I wanted to really reinforce that training. Our social worker has been very active this week to help, supplement follow-up services in regards to that. Officer Wells completed a very rigorous and very difficult instructor certification course. So he will be added as one of our firearms instructors. This course is extremely difficult. We have sent officers in the past and they've unfortunately not successfully completed it. So definitely kudos to Officer Wells for completing it. It's a very difficult training course to get that certification. Officer Dunn, who was our recent hire from the Charleston Police Department, he attended the 5-day crisis intervention training, which focuses on de-escalation, for the individuals during mental health crisis. And then just our typical monthly, we have the collect recertification, and Sergeant Roy participated in the SWAT training. Big trainings for next month, we have our annual firearms training, which is our handgun and rifle, so that will be conducted all throughout the month. And then we also have an EMR recertification coming up for next month, which 4 officers will be participating in. So it's going to be a busy training month next month as well.
So, Captain York,
Yes.
how many officers are trained to be firearms instructors? How many of
So right now, we currently have 2. We have Sergeant Roy and Officer Strickland, and now Officer Wells is going to be the 3rd one.
Traffic?
Okay, Jeremy, why don't you do the traffic report, and would you also comment on the state study on Horse Pond Road that was conducted in the last 2 weeks?
And then I'll talk about this one.
The monthly traffic report for March 2026. In March, the Madison Police Department responded to a total of 18 motor vehicle accidents. Of these, 4 resulted in injuries. 11 accidents involved property damage only, while 2 occurred on private property. Additionally, one of these incidents involved a party evading responsibility, and the primary causes of these accidents were following too close and failure to maintain proper lane.
And then as the chief mentioned, so we have a good connection with the T1 traffic unit at University of Connecticut, which they study all traffic collisions, speed on roadways, etc. So we reached out to them. They've donated several of the speed signs throughout the town. You'll see them on Bradley Road and also by Neck River on Mungertown and Green Hill Road. So we reached out to them. They have a device that attaches to, it looks like a little black box. They attached it to a telephone pole right across the street from 138 Horse Pond Road. That was one of the individuals that came complaining about the speed on Horse Pond Road. So that box is very inconspicuous. No one would even notice it. So you really get a true sense of what the driving behaviors are on that roadway. So they came out from March 20th to March 27th that they installed the box, and we received the data from that. So during that time period, there was a total of 9,910 vehicles that went up and down that roadway
In
during
7
that 1
days.
week. Yep.
Wow.
That is a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. The mean average of speed of the vehicles was 35.5 miles per hour. The highest, I'm trying to think if I could find that quickly. I think they said the highest value was 49 miles per hour. So it just gives us a sense of, what are the roadway conditions. They also are able to give a statistic where anything that went over 5 miles an hour, it was approximately 35% of the vehicles. Anything that went over 10 miles per hour was 18% of those 9,900 vehicles. So it's just it's a great tool so we can really see what's the actual driving behavior of the roadway. And now we have this contact, so if we have any, complaints or concerns about, any roadways, we get this free of charge. They come out, it's more for their statistics and everything, so it's definitely a great asset and tool to have.
You wanna call them again?
Absolutely.
Route 1 Sampson, Route 1 at
Yep.
79.
Right.
Captain, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So, could you kind of interpret that data for us, or for me anyway? So, if the average is 35 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone,
30
is
mile an
that
hour.
30 mile an hour zone, yep.
30-mile-an-hour
Yep.
zone? So, is that reasonable, acceptable, excessive? Because it's certainly on some places on Horse Pond or 79, even where there are 50-mile-an-hour speed limits, you don't feel like you're speeding if you're going, 54, 55. But what's your sense in terms of what does that mean that somebody's about 5 miles an hour?
Well, I'll give you the law standard. Anything over 1 mile per hour of the speed limit is obviously a violation. But we
Right.
all know everyone travels. I mean, I'll give a great example on I-95. The speed limit's 65. But if you're going 70, 75, you're slow on the highway. Is that acceptable? No, technically you're violating the law, but is it just how human behavior naturally is? You're just, but 35 miles an hour, it is traveling on a neighborhood road like that. If you're standing by your mailbox and someone goes past you at 35 miles an hour, it's gonna be very alarming. It's just no different when we back up the state troopers on the highway. When a vehicle goes past you at 65, 70 miles an hour, your whole body moves, the whole vehicle moves. So just that perception of it. I don't know, do you guys have anything to add to that?
Well, in the study itself, how many contacts did they have? A total contacts?
So 9,910
And it
vehicles.
wasn't a 7% that they had, they used the 7% as those over the speed limit?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so is that a better interpretation? So 7% of that number of cars exceeded the posted speed limit?
Well, I'm just trying to put in perspective. Going 55 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone obviously is different than someone going 30 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. I mean, you're 5 miles over the limit, but I'm just trying to get a sense from the police aspect. Is that an area of concern? Is it, something that, we'd be alerted to? Would it be a little different if that was closer to a school? So I'm just trying to get your,
By
because it does
objective,
sound like it's a very
please,
helpful tool.
by objective, it would be example, we always talked about on Warfus Road and all the feeders that go to the schools in the morning. And the stop signs, and who flies through the stop sign, and they're going through the stop sign 20 miles an hour. And the speeds there are exceeding. You look at Goat Lot on 79, speeds there on average are somewhere between 70 and sometimes 80-something miles an hour. Especially like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I mean, it's like a train shooting up there, and that's why they're running radar there quite often. I think speeding listen, the neighborhoods they've developed, they're not like they were 20 years ago. There's a lot more homes, a lot more people, a lot more school stops, bus stops on the roads. Technology of the cars, people are driving faster. Right now, the best we can do is outside the study is that do enforcement and move the enforcement around town with the tools we have and somehow try to affect that. We have, most of the school routes we affect pretty well. We've shown that. We've got feedback from people that have been stopped. So, to answer your question, yes, school zones, things like that, downtown, commercial areas, congested areas. It's just sometimes it's very tough where a road used to be not bad. Now that the shrubs are overgrown and you can't see around the corner anymore and the speeds are picking up, the infrastructure does need a lot of work put into it. But it's not just enforcement, it's designing or changing or adding signage or devices that will help and assist in slowing people down. I did ask for 2 more signs for Horse Pond. I spoke to the first select woman. She asked what I could do with 1, she's looking into that, and that, again, the non-recurring, the equipment fund, that we might be able to, I gave her the pricing for 2 signs installed, which, with all the whistles and bells that we use for statistically to track this stuff. It's probably on about 9,000 change. So she's gonna see if we can do that before the end of the budget year.
Great.
Okay, so that would be, that's a start.
We talked a couple months ago about a town-wide study and just the things you were mentioning, that there's way more density than, things have just built up and the roads have not changed. And the case with Horse Pond, it gets skinnier, it gets wider, so 35 for a stretch that might be skinnier in some points, that probably should be 20 there, right? Something like that, but it's not, so I think it would be interesting if we could get this box, as a data point, so that you would put it in strategically in areas around town that you think would be good to do the same kind of measurement, and then compare. If the statistics end up being the same, is in every area, is it always 7% of the people are going above the speed limit? That would be kind of interesting to compare. It's a little hard when you just have this one data point for one road, but, of course we agree that, nobody should be driving even 1 mile over the speed limit.
You recall they did an in-depth study for the bicycle safety committee? And they came back and they had some great statistics, and it wasn't a shock to me. We deal with those numbers all the time.
Yeah.
But yet, I think they were trying to put somehow that we, meaning the police department and law enforcement, it's exactly what we just talked about.
Yeah.
It's the change in all things that are in the critical infrastructure. That's what affects the quality of life in front of your house, right down to potholes. So.
And just to clarify the statistics, you said it was 18% are going more than 10 miles an hour over the speed limit?
Yes, yep. Let me just.
In each one of those tests, when they broke that down, using certain
what was
periods
the
of time,
7%?
using certain, like 6 o'clock at night, that was one of the busier times, am I correct? Jeremy?
Yeah, it was, the highest amount of traffic was between 12 and about 6 p.m.
Yeah,
So
so
12
everybody's
noon
running
to
down to
6
get
p.m.
their dinner,
Yep.
and then running back up.
Yep. So it was 9% of the people were going over 10 miles an hour of the speed limit.
9%.
9%.
9%, yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's detectable, the actual
Yeah.
speed limit. What they did was they have a plus or minus, and that's where they came up with 7% of that mark of total vehicles counted in the assessment. We're well over the speed limit. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
So is it fair fair to say, we had said 35% are going more than 5 miles over, so obviously that includes the people going 10 miles an hour. So people speeding is 35%. Is that, people going over the speed limit would be 5 miles over the speed limit is 35,
Yes.
if we were to use that as our,
Yep.
so not 7%. but
And out of those 9,000 vehicles, the average speed was 35.5 miles per hour.
Is how,
Yep.
okay, gotcha. But 35% of the people are speeding on that road,
Yeah,
to confirm what the people in the neighborhood say.
yeah.
That's not, I mean, 35% is not nothing.
Yeah.
7% is probably negligible, you might not notice, but 35%, I'm sure that is noticeable. But to your point, Ann, it'd be interesting to see how many people are flying down Route 1 and at what points. Or Neck Road, or, Middle Beach, or whatever, you know.
I mean, think of 79 where we had
Think of
that stop at
79, oh my
97
gosh.
miles per hour, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
That's gotta be the,
one, the reckless behavior, and the chief mentioned the technology of these vehicles now. You get a little 4-cylinder car that could go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and you don't even feel you're going 50 miles an hour, so,
Especially the electric cars.
yeah.
You have to remember north-south routes, it's like everybody's seeking the circuitous route, north and south, or east and west in the town.
Yep.
And they just move as fast as they can. And, but we put a lot of enforcement on the road, particularly in the last 45 days.
Okay, great, this is terrific, thank you.
more of those.
Yeah,
I think that's good to have, and then again, share that, so let people
but
know.
that's not a product that our town can purchase, right? Is that like a very expensive device?
All we have to do is make the call.
You don't need it.
and
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they'll come down and do it. I'd
Yeah.
rather, T1 is a certification standard for the
Okay,
state.
yeah.
So, I mean, our discussion today, particularly when Mr. Campbell here was, and then we talked about it, I said, well, that's probably if we call them and they can do the study for us on Route 1 at, once they have it in black and white from DOT, they can just hand that to the office next door, say, hey, here's the problem in Madison, we documented it.
Yeah,
That's great.
So there's no need, although we sent a letter looking for a study, we've sent numerous letters for studies. It's, I don't wanna make fun of it, I don't wanna, it's just very frustrating because there isn't any closure in it. So,
okay.
recruitment. Captains, you wanna talk about what you folks, so they'd understand how we arrived at the 4 candidates?
Yeah, so we, there was a South Central exam, it was in January, I believe it was. So we brought in numerous candidates, Captain Harkins and I, we interviewed probably 8 or 9. And we came down to, there's 4 candidates that we would like to bring in front of the Board of Police Commission. Excellent candidates, 2 of them will be graduating in May from college, so they're really eager to graduate and, have a career in law enforcement lined up right away. I think that'll make their parents happy as well. So, so we have 4 excellent candidates that we thought would be excellent, candidates here and, hopefully officers here at the Madison Police Department. So we'd obviously love to get you in front of, get them in front of the board so you guys could, formally interview them. We also just went to the, Central Connecticut, we had the, career fair. So we received, a lot of interest. I think we received more interest in internships than, for individuals that were graduating. So it's, the way the officers explained it was a lot of like the sophomore to juniors, juniors to seniors, so they're still about a year or 2 behind. But it was still good just to get in front and, I actually had 3 candidates reach out about internships, so hopefully we can look into that and go from there. But, so the biggest thing is we have those 4 candidates that we'd like to present, so.
Can I ask, you said 2 are recent graduates, what are the other 2, are they?
The other 2 have graduated, I'm just trying to think one graduated, I wanna say, a year ago, is working full-time, and the other one, I wanna say, graduated 2 years, so it's all relative, time period, so.
Thank you.
Well, even though you didn't have, hard candidates from the fair, at least we're being present
No,
in the
absolutely.
community, right?
Yeah.
Getting the name out.
And we may get lucky with an intern and say, hey, this did work out well, and just keep in contact so when they graduate,
Right. Okay. So Holly, you'll help us to arrange interviews. Okay, cool. Thank you. Community calendar.
Doug, why don't you, And we'll talk a little bit about the 200th anniversary for the town of Madison, the festivities.
All right, so yeah, the Madison 200 is on June 27th is the Strawberry Moon Festival, I believe it's called. They're expecting a lot of people at the Surf Club, that's where they're gonna host it. There's gonna be several bands, it's like a musical event, like a concert. I think there's 2 headliners, followed by some local bands as well. We're probably gonna have a significant police presence down there, considering that there's probably gonna be a lot of people. At a minimum, we're looking at 5 in the Surf Club, and then on the exterior, we'll have additional officers to assist with traffic at the beginning and at the conclusion. As things get closer and the planning becomes more intense, I'll be with Austin and Dawn Jackson's a co-chair of the Madison 200 as well. So I'll be able to, finalize those plans. It's early, but we'll have plenty of officers down there.
What's the start and end time?
So it starts at 1 in the afternoon, it'll go till 7 p.m.
And are they, because of the traffic situation, are they talking about using, like they do for fireworks, like using the parking lots for
I actually asked that,
busing?
I asked that question already, they said no, they don't anticipate it being that much, that we would use exchange field. So as it stands now, unless something changes, it looks like everyone's coming out, Surf Club early.
Okay. And then, Bob Donahue, our Board of Finance liaison, is also on the committee, so do you have anything to add to that?
So I had that email that I got from Roz, I don't know, was she able to get in touch with you as well? No, she didn't,
Not
okay,
yet.
so she,
Roz Kama,
Roz, yeah, Kemet is the chair that, essentially runs the meetings when we're there, and what she did say was, the program will start at 1, which will include an informal march into the park, festival stage performances, tent displays, games, awards, and that will run from 1 to 6:30. The headliners are around 3 to 6:30, and then the ending is the drummers at the Rising Mood, which will be sometime between 7 and 7:30, and then she has it slated to end at 7:45.
okay,
So it's very similar to the same information.
Yeah.
And I'm on that as well, so,
thank you.
but it's a great thing to be, it's gonna be great for the town.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, Ed, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I think it sounds like, I know Roz is a very organized individual, and, as long as, she's connected, with the police department, I think we're in good shape,
Okay, great. Any other questions about that?
Look up what a strawberry moon is.
I know, me too. Anything else about the calendar of events in addition to what's on our list?
Our
Any other
parade,
comments or-
the fireworks, I believe the concert, what did we decide on the concert? I know she was gonna have a discussion with them, the concert, and was it a conflict with the people that run the, hopefully they're working on Friday night.
Farmer's Market
Oh, the
is
farmer's
going
market.
to use.
So there was a discussion of
Academy Fields, that's
moving
all.
that over to the field,
Got it.
because, it's July 4th weekend, so. I'm not sure, I haven't had an answer back yet on what progress they made in that.
What
Yeah,
time does
so
the
I-
concert usually start?
It starts like at 5.
Oh, it starts that early?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting with the church, First Congregational, with the Farmer's Market, the organizer, the first selectman, and it was, we walked the property, and they were okay with moving Farmer's Market during the concert over on Academy Field. I think they're anticipating, more customers now that there'll be people down at the green, so maybe it'll open for both parties. So that's where we're at.
You can go buy your dinner at the farmer's
Exactly.
market.
Get your pizza and then bring it over.
Bring it over.
They're talking about pre-orders and all that.
That's a
so
great idea.
it's already
There's no
planned.
grilling, don't grill,
Yeah.
that's not allowed. Okay, great. Correspondence, or do we have any correspondence this month?
I don't believe, general emails, I don't have any, I think we talked about this once in the last meeting.
Okay.
It was fresh.
Okay. Traffic, we talked about traffic, anything additional to report?
No, I'm waiting, I'm hoping DOT gets the work done, 79-1 completed before the summer's upon us. You know, if they do that, I think they were talking about taking one of the trees down, I think that created a conundrum. So, I'm not sure where they are at that. I haven't been it's been about a month and a half, 2 months since the last engineering meeting.
Okay.
So, I hope they do
No
make life a lot easier, but it'll also take care of that problem, Mr. Campbell, one. Just obviously the volume needs to be turned up, so.
Okay.
But that's all I have, and, state agencies, we're back, in person at the Capitol with racial profiling on next 2 weeks, so that's about it on that. The only other thing is, Dr. Lee passed.
Yes, saw that, yeah.
He'd gotten sick, he was over in China, I had the opportunity to talk to him a few weeks ago, as far as the bell, and, we greatly missed. Today, one of the family friends delivered to me, he wanted me to have his nameplate in China, so they delivered that to me.
That's so
So
nice.
I've known him for years.
Yeah.
He was at my wedding, and he's a family friend, well, certainly a friend of the department, on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, we partnered with UNH the day I arrived here, and we've had a lot of people come in, a lot of talented people come through here, and people that have spoken at different events for us, and they've extended it back through the university, including the discount on tuition for police officers, active police officers, so they've been aggressive that way, and that man is one of them got that on the map,
Yeah.
so God rest his soul.
Yeah. So old business, I think we covered that. Well, I just wanted to, I don't know if this is appropriate, but anyway, appreciate the update about Horse Pond Road, so that's great. Talking about old business. So I guess we're at commissioner comments. So Ed, do you have comments?
Just one brief comment. Kept hearing, I think the data, the capturing of that data is just a helpful tool that, you know, we can utilize, you know, to give us a direction. So, you know, we put in technology like license plate readers, and I think it's very positive that we are alert to opportunities to utilize some of that data. You know, incidental stories and descriptions about the car that blew past me going, you know, 75 are okay, but, you know, to be able to say, this is the data from about 10,000 cars, you know, really, you know, allows a traffic or an operational unit to focus on what should we be doing and the reasons why we should be doing it. So I'm really appreciative that we're starting to, you know, take advantage of that kind of technology when it becomes available.
Great, thanks Ed. Whit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Mr. Campbell's a regular fixture, but you know, I had no idea that the force was able to help someone like that on such a regular basis. So that was eye-opening for me, and it's you know, very proud to be in a town with a police force that'll do that for someone in his position. As for the data, I agree. If that's something that the university is willing to kind of come out on demand and collect for us, I imagine there are a few other hotspots where we might want to get that data. So that's interesting to me as well.
Amy?
I would just second that. If we can use this data to fix this problem, that's perfect. So, and that's it for me, nothing.
Nothing else for me?
Just a little, the T1 is the training also for all the legal traffic authorities for the state of Connecticut, and that's you have to attend their class, as I did also, to get certified. So I'm thinking this may work if we get them to do the study on Route 1 and then hand that, wrap it in a package and hand it to DOT.
Can't hurt.
So,
Really help.
Great, so that's it for the meeting. I don't think, Ed, did we wanna go into executive session? Did you wanna have a quick update, or, I don't know if it's necessary.
We were talking about the status of contract negotiations, but, you know, my sense, Chief, is it's pretty much a status quo, and I'm not sure there's much detail that we would need to cover in executive session, but it is, you know, defer to the chief and also the two captains who are at the negotiating table, but it's moving along at a very slow pace, but I don't think there's much to report that's different than last
Right.
month.
Right.
But you can correct me, chief.
Well, there's no different, we have no new information from the last report. What we do have is UPSU settled, what, in 3 days?
Yeah, it's about-
Just the dispatchers
Right.
settled, they settled their agreement in less than a week. So
Right,
Good,
good.
they're
very
happy,
good,
they're happy.
good, okay. Great, thank you. So we will adjourn at 6:20.
Good. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy, great idea.